Hey, welcome to my vlog. I'm Ruthanne Martin, and today I'm going to be talking about things that I wish I knew before I studied abroad. My little story, for anyone who doesn't know. If you know this, just skip ahead probably because it's boring. But I'm a junior in high school right now, I'm 17. But last year, for my sophomore year of high school, I studied abroad in Spain. I lived in a village outside of Sevilla, so South Spain. I lived with a host family, I went to public school, and I was full immersion. So I had some exchange friends, but most of my, all my best friends were Spanish. So it was full immersion. So a lot of people, the most commonly asked questions if I speak Spanish. Yes, I do speak Spanish. But I'm going to do this video in English for anyone who is studying abroad. This can really apply to any country, but specifically Spain too. Some of it, I'll tell you if it's specific or not. But there's a lot of things that now that I look back on my exchange year, I'm shoot, I wish I'd known this because I would have packed different, acted different, made a lot of different choices that could have improved my year. Although I don't regret anything about my exchange year. I honestly had the best year of my life, made the best friends, best memories, everything. So I don't regret anything, but these are things I would, I wish I had known, okay? And also, a lot of these, I asked in my group chat of exchange friends from last year, what are y'all's thoughts, suggestions? So some of these don't even apply to me, but I'll still tell you. So, first thing, don't overpack because you will buy a ton of clothes in Spain. So, depending on where you're at, a lot of the European countries, the shopping is just so different from the United States that it's kind of like an addiction. You see something, you're I gotta buy it because next year I can never buy it. So it's kind of for me it was an unfortunate sequence of me saying YOLO. Oh, I'll never have this again, buys it. Literally, I went with one suitcase, came home with a million. Anyway, I would not overpack. I would think, for example, if I'm gonna bring this shirt, how often do I wear this shirt? Will I actually wear it in Spain or whatever country, insert the country, and the weather. Think about the weather of the country. Also, think about the culture. For example, Spain, which is another tip I'll review later, but they do dress nicer, so think about all those things. And just pack less because you'll pack the essentials that you will need for the first season that you're going to be in. So if you're going in August, for example, I went August, September. That's hot, very hot in Spain. So I did pretty good on that part. Packed a lot of summer clothes. And then when it got closer to winter, based on the style in Spain, because you're going to make friends there and you're going to want to fit in with your friends and dress like your friends. Or maybe you just like the style there. So the one thing I do regret, I didn't bring any sweatshirts. Biggest mistake of my life. Should have brought sweatshirts. I bought some when I was there, but just a comfy sweatshirt from home is always nice. So yeah, don't overpack. Take whatever you think you need and cut it in half. I overpacked so much. I brought so many clothes and a lot of them I never wore, never. Also bring your Converse or whatever your comfortable shoe is, your Air Force Ones, your whatever, your favorite shoe. Mine are probably either my checkered Vans, Air Force Ones, or my Converse. I would bring those three and you're good. Those three and one dressy shoe, maybe. I honestly the dressy shoes I brought, I ended up not wearing and I bought stuff there that went with their style. That's the thing, American style is different from everywhere else. So you have to take that into account when you're packing. That maybe you get there and also going to school, sweatpants is not a thing. You can, but not every day. Anyway, we'll go down to that later. Another thing, you will probably gain weight, so get involved in a gym to combat that. We call it the Spain gain. So this isn't for everyone. A lot of people lose weight on exchange because maybe they hate the food, so they starve. For me, it was hard because it's you're adjusting to a new culture. You sleep a lot. I slept so much the first month, literally every day. I would just go home from school and sleep. Wake up the next day, go to school, go to sleep. It's also I don't want to say depression, but it's when you're first there, it's really hard to adjust sometimes. So it's you have that high for the first week. Oh my god, Spain, or oh my god, I don't know where you're going, whatever. It's amazing. Anyway, then you start missing your family a little bit and just adjusting, so you sleep a lot, you're not working out as much, you're kind of sad. Maybe you eat your feelings, whatever. You don't drink as much water. I feel in the United States I drink so much water, but in Spain it was not common. Carrying around my Hydro Flask, I was judged so much. But that's another tip. Bring a water bottle and use it because you will gain weight if you don't. One, get involved in a gym. I waited until after I'd already gained 15 pounds to get involved in a gym and then have to lose the 15 pounds. But if I had gotten involved in a gym when I got there, I could have just stayed the same weight. So I would recommend, I'm still kind of trying to get back even after I got involved in the gym. I stopped going to the gym, then I gained weight again. Get involved in a gym or an activity. I did dance, but it didn't really help, honestly, because it wasn't super active. So either do a sport. That's a great way to meet people. The gym, also, I met a lot of people at the gym too. Just don't be afraid to talk to people. So get involved in a gym, bring a water bottle, drink water. Next, number 3, Different cultures are different, like it's normal, and Spain to be super touchy. Okay, this was one that I hadn't thought of, and I texted in the group chat and someone was like, you have to say this. So in Spain, this is only for everyone in Spain, I don't know about other countries, people are so touchy. The first day of school, I remember I was like, why is that girl sitting on that guy's lap? Like, that's so weird. Like, I bet they're dating. No. Then I see him go kiss another girl. And I'm like, oh. So in Spain, they're super touchy. So just, like, be prepared for that. Also, if a guy's touching you, probably doesn't like you. I mean, he might, but, like, I'm just saying. It's a very different culture. They touch more. Get used to it. Like, if you hate touch, I hated touch. Truly hated it. Now, I honestly have, Spain changed me. I can touch people now without, like, getting comfortable. Okay, don't be embarrassed. This is number 4. Don't be embarrassed if you don't speak the language. If you don't speak Spanish, German, I don't know what other languages there are, French, whatever. If you don't speak the language, it's okay. People will understand if you make an effort. Just try. And if they don't understand, Google, act it out, man, charades, whatever. But make an effort, because that's the only way you're gonna get better, by making mistakes. I remember one time I said a really inappropriate word because it's super similar to the word for chicken in Spanish. And because it's like pollo and polla, I said a super inappropriate word. But that memory of me being so embarrassed helped me, like, I never made that mistake again. Well, I've made it one more time, but like, it was just like as a joke kind of. But just try, and those mistakes will help you learn. The thing is, like, so I know some people who, like, when they were studying abroad, they never spoke Spanish. They always tried to speak English. And in the end, I was 10 times more fluent because I had tried to speak every person I could. Because also different people have different accents, vocabularies. So the more people you talk to, and I mean, just in the city, talk to people. And it'll improve your vocabulary and your fluency. If you can be able to talk to, like, just being able to talk to your host family is one thing, because they understand how you talk, and you understand how they talk. Talk to people outside your family and outside your best friends. This is kind of like a con, I guess, like, to studying abroad, but it's something that you need to know. Studying abroad affects your relationships and friendships and everything at home, in your home country. So I'm from Texas. When you study abroad, you make amazing friends. But here's the thing, there's a time difference. For me, it's 7 hours from where I lived in Spain to here. So whenever I wake up, they're just getting out of school in Spain, and so like let me rephrase that. When I was getting out of school in Spain, my American friends were just waking up. So honestly, almost all of my American friends, with the exception of like 4, I'd say, I really lost contact with. And 2 of those girls, they came to visit me in Spain. So that helped keep our friendship really strong. Then another girl, me and her met in Cyprus for a week. Also, go watch my Cyprus video. Anyway, we met for a week in Cyprus. So like those friendships stayed strong because we really made an effort. But for the other people, honestly, like, I'm the type of person sometimes where if like they don't text me, I don't text them, which is such a weakness of mine. Like, I'm like, oh, if they don't text me, they probably don't want to talk to me. No. Reach out to people if you want to keep the friendship. Also, sometimes I was just like glad I kind of lost the friendship because I didn't really care that much in the first place. But if you do care about the friendship, you have to make an effort, because also, even if you make an effort, let me throw this out, the friendships will change. You will come back, maybe you were popular, I don't know, whatever year when you were here, you're probably not gonna be popular when you come home. You're gone for a year. People like don't care that much, like they'll forget about you. I'm just being honest. I know this sounds very brutal, but like, I'm being honest. When let's say you have a boyfriend, it's not gonna work. It's gonna be hard. If it works out, good for you, but it's like, I would not recommend going on a study abroad experience with a boyfriend or girlfriend at home, because it's gonna be so much harder, because you're gonna be worried about them. Live it up. Like, you wanna have your exchange year, live to the fullest. So you don't want someone like at home holding you back. I feel like I'm getting way off topic, but moral of the story is, you probably leave with a ton of friends and really close people. You don't talk to them for probably 10 to 11 months. You come back, the friendships have changed. When you get back, it's weird, because physically where you live probably didn't change. But I guarantee you within your family, that people in your family have changed. Maybe your house has changed a little bit, but the people of all things have changed. They've changed form groups. Maybe this and this person were dating, and now this and this person are dating. Everything changes. So when you get back, you have to like readjust to how everything is in your community, whatever. So that's just something to throw out there. Another thing, when you come back, so how we're talking about everyone changes, relationships change. The thing that changed the most about studying abroad is you. So when you get back, you're not the same person. You are going to be more independent, guaranteed. You're going to have lived more. You're going to see the world in a different perspective. Maybe political views, religious views, things have changed. You've changed as a person, and that's okay. You just need to know that, like, I've changed, they've changed. Maybe we're not meant to be best friends. Maybe we're not meant to be friends anymore. Maybe we're just meant to be acquaintances. That's okay. You just have to realize, like, you have changed and embrace it. And that's such a good thing too, though. Study abroad will broaden your horizons so much. So you're gonna grow, because you're gonna be living alone. I mean, not alone, but like not with your family. So yeah, just be expected to be changed. Also, something I wish I knew was that study abroad is not all fun and games. I feel like what happens is study abroad students, we only, obviously, I mean, just like anyone else, we only post the highlights. So we post pictures of us with our best friends out doing something. Us traveling to Portugal, us traveling, for me it was like Morocco, Tunisia, Cyprus, I mean, Bulgaria, the list goes on. Traveling, I always would post like the amazing pictures. But what we don't post is like the nights crying because something happened, your Spanish boyfriend, which they say don't date, but honestly do it, YOLO. That's my perspective in Spain, or whatever country you're in. He breaks up with you, you break up with him, and there's a fight. And a lot of times, like, you don't realize, like, maybe you don't get along with your parents, but like for a lot of people, like when you cry or when you're breaking up, like you kind of want like either your mom or like the best friend you like grew up with, I don't know, to comfort you. But then like you're kind of just alone in it. And also like sometimes it's hard to express your feelings in another language. So like maybe I would burst out crying in school, burst out crying because I failed a test, and then I would just start sobbing. So you just like, you can, I don't know, cry a lot, and it's hard. It's a hard year. School is so hard because it's in a different language if you're going to a country with another language, and it's just hard. Tip number 9. The party scene is way different. That is definitely a personal thing. So I am more of like, I'm not a really big partier at all. Like when I'm in the United States, I rarely go to a party. I'm more into like intentional time with friends, to be totally honest. Like I'm not just putting this on there because it's YouTube, but like I'm really not into the party scene. But in Spain, all my friends, like every friend of mine was really into partying. Not as bad as like other people, but like once a month there was some type of party of some sort. So yeah, it's definitely like, I will say like drinking, smoking, everything like that is much more common and much more like common, I don't even know how else to say, like prevalent in especially Spain and really all over Europe. Next one. So when you study abroad, it's hard. There's these feelings that you've never felt before. It's like this feeling of like, I miss home, but I don't want to go home, but I like where I am, but I wish this was You get your heart broken, you have issues with friends, whatever, and it's just like all these weird feelings. And maybe before you used to have this one best friend from the United States, you would vent everything to him or her. Well, now when you vent to them, they can be there for you, they can listen and everything, but they can't understand. They can understand that you're going through that, but they can't understand what you're going through, if that makes any sense. So I think the thing for me is like, you have to realize, and this is the tip that a lot of my exchange friends said, was like, only people who've studied abroad will understand the experience. Your normal friends won't be able to comfort you. So just know that like a lot of times if you're going through something, talk to an exchange friend maybe, because they can also just like be like, I get that, that's happened to me, like that type of thing. Okay, tip number 11. Leaving America, or your host country, is hard, but leaving your host country is a million times harder. So I heard this quote, sorry, that was my foot. I heard this quote once, and it said, which is harder? Leaving the country that you've known all of your life for 10 months, or leaving the country you've known for 10 months for the rest of your life? It was something along that line. I can actually probably find it if I really care that much. But I was just like, wow, like shocked when I read that. I don't know why it really like affected me so much, but to me it was just like, I don't even know, like I really was affected. And I think that it's because when you leave the United States, I don't even think I cried, to be honest. I was really excited to go. It was also a hard time for me, so I was like, traumatic series of events. The day before I left for my exchange year in Spain, one of my friends was passed, well, his funeral was then. He passed away about a week before I went to Spain. So I was honestly, it was all a blur. I truly don't remember the first month in Spain. I remember very few details because it was honestly just a blur of like grief mixed with new surroundings. So it was, my experience got off to a rough start, but I'm just saying, like, when you go to Spain or whatever, your host country, your new country, it's not that hard. Going back, it's a million times harder because you've created this life, but your life will never be that way again because you're leaving that country. But when you go back, honestly, your life hasn't changed too drastically. It's gonna be the same, mostly it's gonna be the same as the life you grew up with. So I think that's really hard. And then also, this is one that, number 12, this is a tip that I've gotten from other people, and I feel like it depends on your situation. I've had vice versa. One girl said, do not do the semester, do the year, because 5 months is not long enough to make true friendships and relationships and learn the language. I went a year. I actually stayed an extra month with my host family because I loved it so much. I would never go back and do it any different amount of time. You need a year. You need a year. But I also had another person who said, which this wasn't my experience. I loved my host family. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the perfect fit at all times. But here's the thing, like, the family you were born into, it wasn't the perfect fit either. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes your mom's annoying. Sometimes your dad is annoying. Maybe you fight with your mom every day. Like, if you fight with your American, like, the mom you were born, like, you came out of every day, someone else who's not even, like, this person chose you. That's the other thing I like to say. Like, I'm getting so off topic, but when people always say, like, well, you know, I'm getting so topic. I call my Spanish mom in Spanish. I call her mama. People always say, that's so weird. Why would you call her that? Or they'll be like, you don't even know, like, she's not even really your mom. I'm like, she is my mom. Like, I mean, I love my American mom, like, more. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I love them both as, like, my mom. But my American mom, she had me, okay? She didn't, but my host mom, my Spanish mom, she chose me. So that's, like, the thing that, like, suggests to me, like, they chose to have me. And so, I mean, I will say there are situations when your host family sucks. It's just not working. But if that's why the one girl said that, like, a girl in my group chat, like, with my exchange friend, said that she is glad she only did 5 months this semester because she said she couldn't have dealt with her host family for a year. So I think it just depends on the situation, but I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with all of that. I hope that answered you. That was a tip, I guess. I don't even know. I'm sorry, I'm a disaster. Next one, tip 13. Well, it's really 14, but make the most of every moment because you only have 1 year there and it will never be the same again. That's another thing. So I live, again, my sophomore year. I'm currently a junior. Sophomore year, from 2018 to 2019. I lived in Spain for 11 months. I came back July of 2019. Then I went back again for 2.5 weeks-ish in December 2019. Now 2020, I'm going back in April for 4 weeks, actually. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have the tickets, but you never know. And then in the summer, I'll probably go back for a week or two. Probably a short amount of time, but so I'm going back a lot. But every time I go back, it reminds me even more that, like, I will never be able to go back to how I was that year. Never. Because people change. Life changes. Like, change is the only constant. That's, like, one of my favorite quotes, too. Change is the only constant. So, it will never be the same. So, therefore, make the most of every moment. If someone invites you to hang out with them. Don't be like, but I don't speak, like, I don't know. Hang out with them. If you want to travel somewhere, make it happen. Like, especially for people, Americans, or people, well, really just Americans, not just the United States, but you realize when you're in Europe, like, everything's so much closer. You have so much opportunity. That's the one thing I'm grateful for, is, like, I even wish I traveled more, but I traveled the most that, like, my program would let me. I went to Morocco with my program, with my, like, exchange program. I went to Portugal with my exchange program. I went to Portugal again with my school for a school end of year trip. I went to Tunisia for a week, Cyprus for a week, Paris for a week. I stopped in Bulgaria and I had a really long layover, so I, like, went outside the airport and everything. So yeah, I'm just saying, make the most of your year. Do everything possible that you can to live in the moment. Don't obsess with videos, but take some videos, because I do go back and watch my videos and I, like, feel that feeling of, like, being back there. So don't obsess with videos and stuff. Don't obsess with your American friends. Leave your American friends behind. Embrace, like, you're a Spanish or a Danish or a whatever teen for a year. Be the most Spanish teen you can be. I'm saying, like, enjoy that year. Enjoy it, because you'll never have it again. You have that 1 year. So, I don't know, if you want to date that boy, date that boy. Like, maybe you're going to get heartbroken, but, like, it's the only Spanish boyfriend you might ever have. You know what I mean? Like, live it up. Someone wants to go get a coffee. Go get a coffee. It might be the only time you ever get a coffee. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's a year, and that year made me really appreciate time and just, like, with people and making intentional relationships. Don't worry about being friends with every single person. Worry about just, like, making intentional relationships. Also, this is one that goes 2 ways. Your exchange program will probably tell you, don't hang out with Americans, da-da-da. I see the good and the bad in this. So for my situation, I lived in a village. The first semester, I didn't know any other exchange students. I mean, the exchange students in my program were great, but for me, I lived in such a far village, it made no sense to me to, like, take a bus every day to, like, go visit them. So, like, I had a couple, really from Molly, some other girls that I really liked, but it was just, like, it didn't make sense to go see them and hang out with them because they lived so far. So it kind of forced me to make my own, like, friends in my village, which I think was the best thing for me. Other people have found, like, their best friends. So, I mean, it goes both ways. But for me, I recommend have a couple exchange friends so you have those people, like, understand you, things like that. But focus more on your Spanish friends. So have your couple Americans, your couple whatever. I had a really good Danish friend that I love to death. Like, I'll probably go visit him this summer. But I had a good Danish friend. But me and him also, like, I didn't hang out with him all the time. We hung out like once every 2 weeks. We lived in the same town, which is why we were like neighbors. So that's kind of like how like we met each other and everything. Focus on your Spanish or your Danish or whatever country you live in. Focus on those friends and then still have those other relationships, but don't, like, let those relationships will come, but you need to make like a harder effort, because I feel like the American ones are a lot easier to make because you speak the same language, everything like that. But make a big effort to make the Spanish friends. Next one, Spanish people dress way different. So make sure you pack appropriately and dress appropriately. Yes, in Spain they dress nicer, typically. So like for example, in the United States, I'll go shopping, whatever, sweatpants and a t-shirt, and that's like considered pajamas to them. They wear leggings sometimes to school, but it's only on like the days they have PE. So make sure that you bring some comfy clothes, but also bring some cute clothes, and then once you're there, you can buy more. But just be prepared to know that in Spain, they dress nicer. You're gonna have to dress nicer. Be prepared. Next, this one is such a big one. I wish I knew this, but I mean, it worked out all fine for me because I'm an obsessive planner. So it worked out fine for me. And this is the thing, like I feel like a lot of people just click out of this video at this point, but this is the most important one. You need to research your credits. So I was a freshman in high school when I decided I wanted to study abroad. I talked to my school, I talked to my program, I talked to so many different people to figure out how I could graduate on the exact same time as everyone else and still get into the colleges I wanted to. So I have a friend from exchange program, and she told me that she got rejected from 2 of her top choice colleges because her public school did her credits in a different way. They did a pass-fail system. So when she lived in Spain, last day of school, teachers looked at her, wrote her grades down, and they wrote pass for this class, fail, pass, fail. Okay, which is great because then it was pass, fail, pass, whatever. But she passed everything, I'm assuming. So she had all the passes. And then they wouldn't average that in her GPA. But then when she went to apply for colleges, they were like, we can't take this. Like, we need a number grade for every year because your GPA is not correct. So it really screwed her over. So maybe it helped her GPA. Her GPA wasn't as bad, but it screwed over for getting into certain colleges. So what I did is, which there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I currently go to an online school. I could have gone back to public school after doing 1 semester of online school because you need that semester, which I highly recommend this to anyone studying abroad. Liberty University Online Academy. I'll say it again, Liberty University Online Academy. It's through Liberty University, it's accredited, it's international to some level. So you can take your credits from studying abroad. So you give them your freshman transcripts and your sophomore transcripts in Spain, which they can take the written ones too, like the little ones where they write out the numbers and everything, because that's what we did. CIE, my exchange program, they gave me a paper and it said, it was handwritten, everything. You had to write the name of the class, the grade they gave you, and then the American equivalent. So for example, in Spain it's a 1 to 10 system. I would get an 8 for a class. Here that's like a B+ or an A, depends. And then, so they took all those grades and they transferred them. So maybe I had matemáticas. They would put algebra 2. So whatever I should have taken my sophomore year is what they taught it, because in Spain we don't take algebra 2, you just take math. So Liberty was a blessing, and they helped me figure out how to like make sure the credits lined up, because it honestly was algebra 2 content. They just don't label it that. So this Liberty helped me to label my classes. They were able to label them. So then after doing that for 1 semester, now you have a Liberty transcript, Liberty University Online Academy. We call it LUOA for short. So now you have an LUOA transcript. Then when I went to my public school after 1 semester doing online school, they were like, oh, you can transfer it, and I was actually ahead. So I'm just saying, go, if you can't figure out with your public school how to do it, go to your online school, and if you go to LUOA if you want to, I highly recommend, for a semester, and then whenever you go back to your public school, you have an LUOA transcript. So it transfers over so much easier, and then you can graduate on time, no issues. If not, you could possibly, a lot of people, their exchange year just doesn't, like, counts for nothing. So then, like, let's say you were a freshman, you did an exchange year, now you're gonna be a sophomore, and then you graduate a year behind. That was not for me. I was like, I'm not graduating a year behind. Anyway, so that is everything I have for y'all. Just overall, like, I wish that I have very few regrets about my exchange year. It was the best year of my life. I wish that I was just like better on my packing, and I went in very blind. I didn't research nothing, and I mean, I don't even know if I regret that. I just think maybe if I researched more it would have been different. I don't know. I wish that I knew also that I wish I did more like activities in the town I lived in, like touristy things, because I mean, I lived the local way, which is great, but now I look back, I'm like, I wish I had toured this place, I wish I'd done that. But the way I look at everything happens for a reason. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all learned more about studying abroad in high school, just some things I wish I knew before, things like that. And if you'll please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up, things like that. And if you have any questions, my Instagram is always in the description at ruthanne martin, so you can always welcome to DM me, ask me any questions about studying abroad. I'm always happy to answer. Study abroad, online school, anything like that. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.